Hello, I'm back again with another set of junk journals. This time I found these adorable Rand McNally Junior Elf books, and I kept finding them. I kept finding them at different antique stores, and I just had to keep buying them because the illustrations were so sweet in them. This one I think is my favorite one. This little guy's face is just so sweet. But as with my other books, I generally make things in batches. And so this batch was all a Rand McNally Junior Elf book set. I've already sold one of them, so I'm missing one of the sets. I think it was Baby Animals, is I think what it was. But each of them has like the basic cover, and when you turn them over, it gives like the little list of the different books from that you could get in the series. And then each of them has like my very I always do the button bindings on them, and then I've started adding on these tassels as well. So, but I really like the way that the when I use a book as the foundation, I really like how the book lays open really well when I actually open it up. So my other books, when I was making the bindings that just kind of wrapped around, they were always kind of like, it was a little bit difficult to make them stay open. But I love these ones because you just flip the thing up and then you open it up and it just like stays open really easy. So writing in here is super simple. Each of the covers starts out with a little Dick and Jane in a library pocket. I just kind of like that as the cover of each one of them. And then each of them has a set of pages that are from the original books. And then I have other things like Norman Rockwell pictures in here, and like this is just writing paper for elementary school that I got on Amazon. That's not vintage. And then I've got postcards in here. So there's another one of the Dick and Jane books in there. And then math cards and all kinds of, like, I really went vintage with these guys. So I found these at in an antique store, and then this wrapping paper is from the 1960s. It's like some vintage wrapping paper that I use to kind of edge things with. So it's there, and it's also there. And then recipe cards. So each of the books are fairly similar, but the pages, of course, are different. Just because each of these junk journals always has some unique flavor in it. So there's no two that can possibly be alike, I don't think. It's the nature of the beast. Some journaling spots here. And then there are also little places for pockets. Oh, this is out of a book that was teaching about where do different foods come from in the world. These are actually some vintage lace that's on the edge there. This is some vintage rickrack on there. Vintage hemming paper, like the hemming, like that stuff that you could iron on. So like it is full of a lot of vintage. Oops, it's not just all tea-dyed and that kind of thing. It is like legit vintage stuff. Or vintage paper and stuff. Mixed with like current things. I love that stamp in there. This is out of a thesaurus, an illustrated thesaurus. Cock-a-doodle-doo, says the cock, and grandly struts about. He thinks his cock-a-doodle talk will make the sun come out. So, I mean, just look at those illustrations. I just love it. Little journal spot there. And then I found these vintage-themed little cards that you can write on the back of at Ben Franklin's. This is another piece of little vintage lace. I mean, this is just so pretty. That little white with that embroidered edge on there. And then I think this was for bridge. I don't even know. Bridge or bunco or something. And then I also had a lookbook that I pulled some of the advertisements out of just because I thought they were kind of neat. And so I incorporated those into each of the books as well. This is like an old Woolworths company tag. A clothespin with a sheep on it. And then I made these mini books. I always like to do these to throw them in there, and I always think, give it to your kid, your little kid who doesn't know what to write about their trip to Disneyland or wherever, and then that's all they have to write for their memories. A sweet little face. So anyway, I just loved these guys. I thought they were so cute. And the illustrations are so sweet that they were just perfect. Oh, this is a French to English dictionary. And lots of these like invitations and stuff that I found. I live in Washington, and there's a little town called Snohomish that is about 20 minutes away from me. So I'm 20 minutes from Seattle, and I'm 20 minutes from Snohomish. But so we zipped over there today actually, and I found a whole bunch more of that like gorgeous vintage ephemera. I found some more wrapping paper, and I found some more of those little invitations and stuff. So I think I gotta have another set of these guys coming out pretty soon. So the other ones I'll flip through a little faster so that you can just get the idea of what's happening inside. But you don't need to like spend a ton of time with each one. So just flipping through pages, so you can see like you see things start to repeat in here. The ideas, at least, are starting to repeat. Some similar colors you're seeing, but each one like has a different set of pages to it, different sets of vintage postcards. Everyone has like all of the same like paper backgrounds and stuff like that, but each one is together in different orders. And I love that pink lace that I found for the edge there. Guest check piece there. Journal pages, and another, sorry about that, another little tuck spot. Come on, man. There we go. A little tuck spot for a little postcard. Little cow. I mean, I love those eyes, those big, beautiful Guernsey eyes. I think this is like the inside cover of that page. Got some Charlie Brown playing in the background there. It's October right now, end of October, and it just feels like the right kind of vibe. I found this out in Snohomish too, in an antique shop. A whole big set of Woolworths tags. I'm still not quite sure what I want to do with all that, but boy, it's important to me. Here, this is from that Tie My Shoe. So there's number 2, the Tie My Shoe. Go ahead and put that one right there. Animals Talk to Me. Make sure you can see that. Cute little puppy and cute little guy. So Dick and Jane, they're on the front. And there he is, tying his shoe. I just found out recently about an expo that's happening next weekend, so November 2nd and 3rd, if it's still 2019 when you're watching this, and it's happening out in the Puyallup, the fairgrounds, and it's supposed to be like the biggest antique store, or the antique sale in, I don't know if it's in Washington or if it's in the United States, and it travels around. And we were haunting at our favorite antique shop, standing right into a gentleman who said, oh yeah, you will not be disappointed if you want to come out. And so I am getting pretty excited about that. So I'm really curious what I'm going to see. You know, those of us who are vintage paper junkies, I just start drooling, man. I see stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, can't wait to get my hands on that. I just have a book that would be perfect for that. Oh, I'm addicted to making these, you guys. I love making them. Like every day when I come home, I'm a teacher too. Every day when I come home, I make dinner, and then I go right to what I call my corner, and I get out my sewing machine, get out my paper, and just start making. This is my absolute therapy, and I just love making these. So I don't know, what is it about these that has caught my fancy? Maybe it's the combination of all the things I loved as a kid. Sticker books, tickets, pretty pictures, picture books, you know, all those things that you love as a kid. And I guess I get to play with it as an adult too. And it just feels good. Oh, this is a different cover than the others. So this is a little bit different than the other ones because it looks like I put that on the back instead. So this one, Zoo Book, has a different inside title page. So just be aware that this is like, I guess this is the oddball. then. Still cute. Just has a slightly different order. If you hear weird noise, that's Snoopy crying in the music that I'm listening to. Little beer decal there. A wild buffalo. So anyway, these are in my Etsy shop until, well, I guess until they're not. Bacon! Until they're not in my Etsy shop anymore. So they are available at this flannel for these. So you're welcome to go over there and check it out if you want to see like pictures, or heck, if you're interested in buying it, that's fine too. But if you just want to see like the close-up pictures and get a better idea of exactly what's happening here. So it's just chock full of cool vintage stuff that I have found from all over the place. So thanks for taking a peek, and I hope that you had fun watching and looking, getting ideas, getting inspiration, and I hope that you also feel ready to start your own junk journals too. And if not, I just hope you enjoyed looking at mine. Have a great day.